Depression is a great deal in our nation. It is something that needs immediate attention because persons with depression are gradually increasing and leading to the overwhelming number of suicide in our country. On Against All Odds today, we are concerned, and so we have with us Mr. James Komolafe, who will be taking us through the process of depression. What is depression? How can you access yourself to know if you're depressed? And how can you get out, as in walk out of depression? Are you watching us? Are you depressed? Are you at the verge of committing suicide? Disability is actually a thing of the mind. It has to do with what you tell yourself, who you are, who you're becoming, those strange voices that ring in your head. We want to say no to them on Against All Odds today. Please don't go away. Stay with us. We will be back very shortly. My name is Doshima Pius Ikeravi.
This is Against All Odds.
In Nigeria, over 14 million persons are in depression, and 800,000 die annually out of depression. They commit suicide. Now, UN says every 40 seconds, someone commits suicide out of depression. And close to half of this number are actually persons living with disability. Why is this? Because of ignorance, poverty, and lack of knowledge. Depression has become a great concern in our country today. And then what is most disheartening is the fact that even little children are involved. Children who are completely dependent on their parents and do not even have responsibilities. What is the cause of all this? With all this in mind, we actually ask questions from a professional who will be taking us through things we need to know, how to overcome depression, how to stay out of depression. On Against All Odds today, I have with me Mr. James Komolafe. He is a behavioral therapist. He deals with mind management and how to balance your emotion. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on Against All Odds.
Thank you, Doshima. Good to be here today and to have a session with you about this very precarious issue in our society, depression. Okay. Just lit a stick of match. What happens? It explodes. That's why you find the young, the one who is even well-fed and brought up in good homes, committing suicide, because these stages are ongoing within without anybody knowing or seeing. And you see, just ordinary surface counseling does not arrest depression or suicide. Depression is a first-grade road, trunk A road to suicide when it is not adequately and properly handled and managed. So that is why you have to speak up. No matter what stage you find yourself, speak up and get help when it is timely.
And how can that person be discovered?
Great. Number one, that's why we have to be our neighbor's keeper. That's why you have to extend the sense of community to your colleague, your neighbor, wherever, to discover the seemingly violation you see around. Mr. So-and-so no longer does this. You move close. We are able to trace and then you extend love. You don't withdraw or ignore. You extend love to such an individual and help him to get help. And what are the stages? One, we need to professionally help him or her to understand his status, appreciate it, and then we'll commence the therapy sessions. Based on the degree of vulnerability, we'll decide how many sessions we are going to have. And Doshima, the first thing is not even to start administering talk. No. Get him to a state and a place where he can rest and relax. Get him to sleep. Give him food. Talk to him when he wakes up. And then from there, you start administering the therapy that is needful. Some of the therapies are talk therapies. Some of them are little exercises.
Okay.
Some of them are even getting him to just ignore his current situation on a temporary note so that he can coordinate and be himself. And then from there, once you can get him professionally to the point where he realizes his condition, ordinarily nobody would love to die. It is when there is a failure within, substantiated by a failure without, that depression that leads to suicide usually strikes. So when you defeat that thought within him that he has failed within, and that the outside that is non-cooperating can cooperate, then he calms down. He wants to hear you.
Okay.
And from there you begin to put things together to be able to pull him out of that deep. That's why depression begins with the letter DE. It's actually a depth within that people sink into. Writer, you are a student out there and you have this sense of bad feeling about yourself, your parents, and whatever. Please talk it out. Get it solved. And then you see, anger, rage, bitterness are very great triggers to depression. When you keep people in your mind, that is a negative pellet that can spill within you and desecrate you.
Okay.
So it gets you polluted inside. When you are thinking negative, you think bad about yourself, you don't need to take a course in the analog photography to know that negatives are developed in the dark room. So when you sound negative in your feeling, negative in your thought, negative in your action, I'm sorry, you're already on the track of depression, and it can lead you to the trap through the 10 cycles. So that's why we are recommending this simple solution to all stakeholders, schools, institutions, churches, mosques, and wherever, so that on your own note, at your own time, you can go through. Where am I? You can even take depression audit. You can audit your account in Depression Bank and to see whether you are in deposit forms inside. One is a dummy that you always photocopy and assess yourself. The first one, the second one is the one you can do right now.
Okay.
You put your name, your telephone number, and all that.
So we're using myself.
Yes, to test for depression.
Yes.
I will announce your result.
Yes,
Because my producer, my presenter, should not be said to be depressed.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will need
don't
my
announce
treatment.
it.
Okay. So you put your name, your biometrics, your occupation, and your age. Then right on top of it is a 10-point score graph from 1 to 10, where 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest. 1 means rigid, 2 means what?
Look.
You just look. 3 means you are dull.
Dull.
4,
Unstable.
5,
Tolerant.
5,
Yield.
6. No, okay, 6 is yield.
Yield.
And then 7,
Floating.
you are floating. 8,
Driving.
you are diving.
Okay, diving.
Yes, 8,
Swimming.
and then 9.
No, 8 diving.
8 diving.
9
9 swimming. And then 10
absolute.
absolute. So having that graph in mind, I'm going to ask you question 1 to 10.
Okay.
So question 1
says... Can we
says...
quickly explain what's rigid, what's loose, what's dull, what's...
Yes, rigid means depression coming and going. It doesn't affect you.
Okay.
You are just
You are
cute.
just there.
It doesn't move you.
Okay.
Look means where it's catching your attention, though no decision.
Okay.
That's 2. Dull means where I'm hearing you, but it's like I might give in. Unstable means where I have had you. Do I do it? Do I not do it?
Okay.
Tolerate means you've accepted.
Okay.
You open your door to depression. Yield means now that I have tolerated you, I'm yielding to you. Do what you want.
Okay.
Floating means now that you have yielded, it's now carrying you. So you are floating. It can take you anywhere. Diving means you are not only floating, you are now moving everywhere in depression. And then swimming means now that you have that, in fact, you are used to it. And from swimming, it takes you to absolute. Where anything can happen. You can decide to terminate your life, to say, I've had enough. So those are the 10 stages for a graph. So number 1 is overdue.
Okay, so you're still watching Against All Odds on the Nigerian Television Authority, and right now very quickly want to go through this test so that as we go through it, you also prepare your mind to go through it, and you must be very factual, right?
Yes.
The truth.
You have to be very objective.
Okay.
Don't deceive yourself.
This is Against All Odds.
So the first question is, how well are you trapped in overdue? Either in your thinking or feeling or imagine the negative on anything. Okay. So take yourself in front of that question. Have you scored yourself?
Yes.
In front of the question.
Yes.
Good. So number 2, that overdue, when you think too much or feel bad too much or imagine too much, will lead to overcome. Because the essence of overdue is to overcome you. Meaning becoming oversaturated with dangerous thought, and you cannot help yourself over that thought. It could be a tiny thought. You could be overcoming in some others, but one particular,
you'll be like, this one I can't help.
I can't help myself. I have to cage. Okay. Number 3 is overturn. Where are your virtues and value being overturned and replaced by new stuff on the negative note showing off in you? Have you been overturned? Okay. Number 4 is overrun. What overturns you is for the purpose of running over you. So where have you been overrun in your mind, dominated by such thoughts, gaining inner control?
And so, then
you are just trying to just hop around it. Good. I think I would love to announce your results so that the people watching us out there will know that my producer is sound and balanced on ground and saying, no way, depression. Oh, kudos to NTA for taking care of my producer. Then number 5 is overwhelm. So that is where you know you are engulfed and devastated with vices and thoughts that is beginning to reflect in what you do. That's the realm of overwhelm. Then overpower. Of course, you begin to take decision based on the helpless situation you find yourself, which is calling for concern. Then number 7 is overdose. You begin to break your borders and do things ordinarily you are not used to. Then number 8 is overreact. You transfer aggression. Little thing hurts you and all of that. Then number 9, overview, where your perspective is beginning to change and alter from the original. Then number 10, overthrow. When you
number 8, you say?
Overreact. Sudden withdrawal. Okay. Sudden abstinence, wrong acceptance, excessiveness. Then number 9 is overview. When you begin to think and feel worthless about yourself, helpless, and
without the courage to fight.
Without the courage to fight on. And then number 10 is overthrow. When all hope is lost and you just must do something because you cannot continue. You have been defeated internally and then externally. Good. Now that you have ticked yourself, now we talk about how to compute your audit, depression audit,
Okay.
and know your balance. So you multiply the number of tick
Okay.
in each of the column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiply the number of tick
That's
in each column with the
this-
number on top.
Now this one like this.
Yes.
I'll multiply 1,
2,
2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 1 and write it down.
Okay,
in
so
the
9
category
times
score
1
is 9.
9.
Write it there. Yes. Then which other place did you score yourself? Under column 2.
Yeah.
You score yourself how many times?
1.
So 2 times 1
1
is 2.
Okay.
Which other place column did you score yourself? So you now add up the two figures. What does it add?
92.
No, 9 plus 2.
Okay, 9 plus 2.
Yes, what does it give you?
11.
So it gives you total score 11%. So write 11%
Here.
in front of total score in percentage.
Okay.
Yes, 11%.
11%.
Yes, so you now choose your cluster. Where is 11% in all of this? So you are between 0 and 30. So tick it.
Okay.
So congratulations, presenter. I'm happy and glad to announce to the world that Doshima is out of depression. You are 89% solid on ground to withhold any pressure of depression.
Okay.
So, and you are superlative. Can you see it?
Yes.
You are in distinction by personality, meaning you are just yourself, catching fun, happy with who you are for what you do, given your conditions, your externalities. So such type of life, you are saying depression, no admittance here, you don't have a ground here.
Yeah.
Assuming your score is 61 or 63, you'll have been in aggression.
Okay. Aggressive.
So you are in aggressive, needing attention.
Okay.
So to such, you will not leave this place. If you
will admit me here.
Yes. If you had scored 71 and above, you'll be needing detention. All I would do is to go to the behavioral health laboratory and bring out a brand new behavioral health handcuff. To handcuff you hand and foot until you are treated and we're sure that you won't go and commit suicide.
Okay.
So I have to give kudos to your organization for taking very good care of you, that you are not in any way close to depression. So with this, you can be sure whether you are in depression and what stage you are.
But is it possible that from this point you can actually fall into depression if you let yourself?
If you let loose your guard, you can fall into. So that's why my professional advice for you as a psychotherapist or a behavior therapist is to say, please, whatever is the personal protocol you have in place to come about this, please keep on keeping on. Okay. You are just good. You are okay. And what are the 3 things we check in responsibility towards depression cycle assessment? We check for 3 variables: your abilities, what you have and possess, your activities, what you do and carry out, and the realities around you. Okay. Disability is a thing of the mind. We have seen people who are physically disabled but are powering nations and generations based on their quotients and their other vital abilities. Yes. So disability could mean what you think it is. But what do you need to look at? You look at yourself wholesomely. Look at your intuitional values, your intellectual values, and your interactional values before you can conclude whether you are disabled or not. We've seen people who cannot see, and they are doing pretty much well than people who have eyes. Because the issue about life is not that you have eyes that sees, but the eyes that have vision, that can coordinate and set an agenda for a generation of people. Yes. So, and before we close, I like to say there are depression cases that happen based on parental disposition and by inheritance and all of that, which are at advanced level. Those are one out of many cases. You just find somebody who is doing pretty well and all that, and because of genetic factor, is just suddenly down. To such, this may not readily work, but in very many cases, this will pick up the issue. Now, depression, we need to find out how did it begin and track it through therapy sessions so that we can get to what the root cause is, what damages has it caused, and then begin to analyze and sort it out. So most of the time, don't mistake your condition for your definition. You are not one and the same with your situation. Your situation is temporal. Oh, you don't have money, you are poor, you are sad. That is not you. The incentive for money and for wealth creation is also in you, which at another edition we will show you how to create your own wealth and be yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for giving us so much time, enlightening us, educating us, and of course, letting your doors open.
Let's save our world of sudden collapses, premature death, and depression.
Yes.
So ask for how to walk away from depression and bad decision.
You know, the solution is in getting up and telling yourself, I don't want to remain in this state anymore.
Yes.
I want to
There's
get
nothing
out
bad in
of.
falling down.
Yes,
But you
when
have to come up.
Exactly. And so, even if you're down, you're falling, please get up. There is solution.
And it's not enough just praying and say, I prayed it off. It has gone. No.
You have
Please
to practicalize
subject
it.
yourself to this and check
Be true
whether
to
there
yourself.
are residues. And you have to be very objective about it to be able to scale through.
Walk away from depression. Don't remain in depression. If you've been watching Against All Odds today on the Nigerian Television Authority, this whole thing has been packaged for you. Have you fallen? Are you diving? Are you swimming in depression? Wake up and tell yourself, this is the time to get back to who you used to be. This is the time to tell yourself, I am not going to allow that strange voice drown me. There's solution. You know, they said when there's a solution, the problem is solved. And so here is a solution for you to say no to suicide, to say no to depression, to say no to that voice that you're hearing in your head that is telling you, take your life. You have no reason to live. You have 1,001 reason to stay alive. Thank you for staying with us on Against All Odds. Let's do this again. Same time next week on NTA. It's Against All Odds. Bye.
Bye.